Hello English 2B, Miss Stevens here. Hope you're having a great day. Just a quick video announcement to talk about your assignment this week, the discussion brainstorming for a play. So, you've probably noticed that you're going to be writing a play in the coming weeks, and of course we don't want to just spring that on you all at once. We're going to break it into manageable chunks. So as you're considering topics that you're interested in writing about, consider maybe making a list or brainstorming or making a web in your notebook that just starts talking about things that you're maybe already an expert in, things that you've experienced, maybe even arguments with family or friends. And what would be really nice to see is to see you anchor this back into our discussion of morals. What is right and wrong? What is the greater good? How do you live your life by your morals, your principles? I heard some wonderful things, and your moment of Zen from class this week were just excellent. So think about topics that maybe relate to that bigger code of ethics, that bigger issue of morals and right and wrong. So you could be brainstorming about maybe a time in your life when you've experienced that. You could be brainstorming about a time in your life when you saw somebody else go through that. And consider a way that you can maybe be inspired by your own experiences to actually write that drama. It is important to consider an audience. So you get to decide who would be the people who would maybe sit down and watch this play or watch this scene. Are they going to be other teenagers? Are they going to mostly be maybe Coloradoans? Are they mostly going to be anybody? Is it going to be a kid's play? How would your voice and your tone change if you were writing specifically for a child audience? Your purpose, of course, to focus on drama. Doesn't mean you can't have a little humor in there. We've noticed even in our play, and I mean the people, there's quite a bit of humor happening. So once in your notebook you've kind of brainstormed some ideas, you've considered what you could write about, what professional experience maybe you have, or maybe just experiences that you have, go ahead and maybe start opening up a Word document or keep in your notebook a brief description of your topic and why you believe it will make a good drama. So that's actually going to be the beginning of your discussion post. So you could start with, the topic I'm considering for my piece is blank, and I believe it would be a good drama because blank. And then you would go on to support those reasons and talk about where it came from. So that paragraph is really going to be the core of this assignment. You're going to talk about your idea and your topic, why you think it's going to be a good drama, and any inspiration for where that idea came from. And of course, share what you feel comfortable sharing. Maybe, you're feeling inspired by a time in your life that was challenging and you made some difficult decisions. You don't have to go into all those details. You can just talk about you were inspired from real life events that taught you, X, Y, or Z, or showed you something. So as always, please shoot for a high school paragraph, 7 to 11 sentences. You'll notice here that it says to respond to the post of at least 3 of your classmates. You should respond to at least 2 of your classmates. If you respond to 3 or more, you have the opportunity to earn extra credit. So what you're doing when you actually respond to your classmates is to maybe give some ideas and some input about their drama, what they're thinking about, what their topic is. Maybe ask some clarifying questions from them. Remember to be respectful, of course, too, as we're helping each other brainstorm. But really focus on collaborating with a partner, collaborating with your classmates to help them have more ideas. Give them the input on the topic and help them kind of focus on their basic ideas. You might even be thinking about a time in your life, or maybe they're writing about, their own moral experiences and maybe how that even relates to you. So feel free to share. Our experiences are sometimes our best teachers. You will be submitting your final idea to me for review. And we're going to do that using a Google form first thing Monday morning. So that means that you will have time over the weekend and then coming back to class first thing Monday to kind of read the feedback from your classmates and get an idea of, okay, now that I've had some brainstorming, I've had some input from other people, what am I going to write about? So you'll have that form in the announcements Monday morning, and that is going to be 4 points in addition to your discussion. So step 1, brainstorm in your notebook. What am I writing about? What am I interested in? Step 2, create your description and paragraph and post it to the discussion board. This should be a high school paragraph. Step 3, respond to 2 or more classmates and help them with their brainstorming. And I challenge you to respond to people that maybe you don't know very well in class, or maybe that you see an idea that kind of strikes you. And finally, step 4, you're going to come back over the weekend or first thing Monday morning and read the input from your classmates. So when you're responding to people, try and give them at least 4 sentences and consider asking questions. And if you have a question asked of you, please respond. We want to continue these discussions. We want to keep this conversation going. All right, so that's the assignment, brainstorming for a play. Your main post is due tonight, Thursday by midnight. Your peer responses are due Friday by midnight. If you have any questions about what you're doing or what you're thinking about, or maybe you're just completely stuck and need to bounce ideas, send me an email. I'm happy to help. And of course, you can always swing into office hours. Remember to make sure that you're using your module checklist that was handed out in live class this week, and of course use your announcements as a guide as well. Anything else that's new? We have the new calendar button. We're going to start seeing that being added to regularly so that you can be working ahead and knowing exactly what's coming up, so be sure that you're looking at that. But I think that's pretty much covering everything for the week, so if you have any additional questions, let me know. Have a wonderful rest of your day.